Alright, so today was kind of meh. I'm not gonna lie. CPI did what it did. I was definitely not a part of that. I suck with playing news stuff, so I just figured I'd rather not play it than play it nervous and then mismanage and then potentially take a loss that you know wasn't necessary if I didn't play it. Um, so today was really like two break even trades, right? That was really nothing really hit any targets because after CPI, I'm like, okay, they're probably just gonna consolidate this. And I was trying to use a dollar, because I was seeing a buy, but I didn't really have as much faith in it because as the ES was consolidating, the dollar was consolidating. So I'm like, I'm not trying to be off sides of this accumulation phase. So I'll just wait for the manipulation and distribution of it. So as dollar went lower, obviously, it went higher. We just made higher lows, retracing in. I tried to do like a short scalp, but I sold that pretty quickly because I was like, um, I just wanted to short at this gap after we ran structure. But I was like, if this is us, well, if I'm seeing on a lower time frame that we're quote unquote breaking structure to go lower, but higher time frame, I'm thinking that it's just gonna be a retrace. I'll just take this as the retrace. So once I like realized that when I was in this cell, I just moved my stop to like break even and just got out of that. Luckily, because like the very next like two candles was like whoop right up. So that would have took me. This part was really ugly. I was just bored waiting here, so I'm like, okay, I'm not really trying to do this. And I was getting near like the end of my time window, right? Because I have 8:30 to 11, but it's really 9:30 to 11 is like my optimal window. Like normally that's where my setup forms the best. But you can see in that area it was just like a higher time frame retrace. So I was like, I'm kind of bored with this. So then I just took a lower time frame scalp, um, right before 12, because 12 is like the cutoff window for me because that's lunchtime, right? So next is to wait until the afternoon session over here. Um, so until that starts, I was like, okay, do I see a scalp? And I did. I saw it on a 5 minute. Um, because I was like, if dollar broke lower, so I'm looking for it to retrace like up into a breaker, but I mean it doesn't have to. But while I was doing that, I was like, I'm seeing this little fractal here, right? So I saw this 5 minute gap right here, these two candles, this 5 minute gap, and then I saw this 5 minute gap, and I was like, if we're just gonna continue, if the dollar's gonna continue going lower, because it already broke structure or shifted, whatever you want to use, on a 4 hour, right? So I'm basically looking for it to retrace and go lower, which means that I'm looking for the indices to retrace, quote unquote, and go higher. And I was like, for the range that we made, this dealing range using the bodies of the candles, because it's lower time frame, um, I saw that with the 50% of the fib, this gap was out here. So technically, for the range that we made, down here, not really not this CPI move, but just this current price action range. Um, this 5 minute gap was what in an area that I deemed as a discount. So I was like, okay, if I'm thinking that we're gonna go higher, which means that we're gonna need a retrace on a higher time frame, right? Which would make a lower time frame some form of model. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna look for a sell model if I want, because a bullish retrace, a high time frame bullish retrace is a low time frame, quote unquote, sell model. Like it's a sell model, um, but it normally doesn't take that original consolidation that you're looking for, because again, it's a retrace, not a whole model. So I was like, okay, it's probably just gonna do like a sell down into this gap. I had the two gaps labeled, but this one was already rebalanced. Like, well, I mean, this one was already traded too, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep this one on just in case it does. But I saw that this was in a discount, so I was like, I'll just take a sell down into this as good as I can. And I caught like I basically got like the scraps of the sell that I was looking for, because the actual setup, right, it was this short term high, and then this swing low, right? Well, actually, I didn't even see. Is this one lower than this one? Okay, so it was this one, but I'm still gonna use this one because this was the swing low before this move higher, right, above these highs or above this short-term high. But even though this is a lower low, I'm still looking at this high to this low to this high and then lower, right? And that setup, you look for in that low, the value low, you look for the lowest down close candle, which was this candle right here. So I was like, okay, boom, this is a breaker. And then I saw that we had this gap, right? This 5-minute gap. So I was like, okay, boom, breaker, gap, you know what I'm saying? This is money. So I had my entry at like, I think it was like the 50% of the gap. So my entry was like here. This is where I had my limit order set, and my stop was above this candle's high, which is another form of stop placement you could do. Like the 3 candles that made the gap, you could use the first candle, that candle's high, as a stop, because it shouldn't go higher than that. But the safest stop would have been up here, right? But I just used this stop, and then I had it at a 50. And you know, price did this candle here, broke below that, so I was like, all right, bet, breaker in play, woohoo, let's go. And then this candle tapped up into it, but it didn't come up to where my entry was, right? So it tapped that and then ran down into this gap, which was 9 points, right? But it basically ran like a little over there, like 12 points, right? So I was like, okay, I missed that. That's great. All that work and waiting just for it to boop and then not hit me. So I was like, okay. It's still a breaker with a gap, so it still should have some resistance, right? And I was watching dollar as it was doing that too, like just to see if we're because I wanted to see the dollar retrace and then go higher, so that it could retrace into the breaker and go lower. But you see that I sold at this candle, but I think, can't you like see the exact area with the arrows or something? Am I tripping? I think that's the one on the laptop. But I sold at that area. So what it is, 30. What is that? Where is that? So I sold right here at the top of the breaker. So I got in at the top of that, right? And now this was the annoying part, right? Because I got into the top of this breaker. I'm just going to 1 minute so I can see like the exact candles. Okay, so I got into the top of this breaker, right? And then as I entered, right, my Wi-Fi, it cut out. So I was like, okay, this is awesome. Thank you so much. And I normally just shift to like my data or whatever, but then that was even moving slow. So I literally couldn't even manage my position while I was in it. So I just kind of had to like hope that it went right, and I didn't turn it on to like me being stopped out. But after it picked me up here, the lowest I went was 6 points. And I normally, if I'm scalping, I normally scalp between 5 and 8 points, right? So it hit 6 points, which I would have been perfectly fine selling at, but I couldn't. And all the while I'm like trying to refresh and closing the app, it's coming back up, it's coming back down. I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck is going on? So I just finally sold at 38.06 because I was able to get back into my position, but then I was like, okay, I'm gonna just move my stop to protect, because this shit is crazy. So I just moved it like 2 points, and then it stopped me out. So basically all of that for 2 points. Yeah, but at least I protected my account, so it's not as bad. I'm still negative on the week. Yeah, I'm still negative. I'm only negative. I think I'm down like 20 something dollars, so that's not like terrible. But wait, why is it not letting me? Oh, okay. But yeah, that's mainly the 2 scalps I did on that today, because I did not play CPI, and now that it's lunch, I really don't care what price does. So yeah, that's that's all I really did. Okay, that's it. That's all I got. Shit's so